Darkness loomed over the earth when Jesus took his last breath on the cross. The air was dense, laden with a somber silence. The sky darkened, the temple trembled, and many who witnessed that scene could not understand what was happening. For the disciples, everything seemed lost. The one in whom they trusted, who performed miracles, healed the sick, and announced the kingdom, was now dead. Jesus' body was taken down from the cross and placed in a tomb. The stone was rolled to the entrance, sealing what many believed was the end of a story, but the reality was different. The physical world saw a dead man, but in the spiritual world, something grand was about to happen. While his followers mourned the loss, Christ himself descended to a domain invisible to human eyes, the realm of the dead. But why did he go there? Since time immemorial, humanity has tried to understand what happens after death. Ancient writings spoke of a place of shadows, a domain where spirits awaited their final fate. For the Hebrews, this place was called Sheol, a mysterious space where both the righteous and the wicked waited for judgment. For the Greeks, the name was Hades, a divided realm where the good rested and the evil were tormented. This invisible realm was not only a place of waiting, but a reflection of the spiritual condition of humanity before Christ's redemptive work. Since man's fall, death was a prison with no possibility of escape. Even those who lived righteously awaited there, for redemption had not yet been accomplished. But now, everything was about to change. Jesus did not descend to the realm of the dead as a prisoner. He was not taken against his will, nor did he arrive as one defeated by death. On the contrary, he entered this domain as a conquering king, carrying supreme authority. The darkness that dominated that place trembled at his arrival. The enemy, who thought he had won, realized something was amiss. The one who had been crucified was not there to stay, but to proclaim victory. The spirits that inhabited this realm for centuries heard his voice. It was not a voice of supplication or lamentation, but of authority. He declared that death had been conquered, that the price of sin had been paid. Those who had waited, the righteous from ancient times, who had longed for the promise, now saw with their own eyes that hope had finally arrived. Among the wicked, there was only terror. They had rejected the truth in life, and now they witnessed that Christ indeed was the one who ruled over all things. But his proclamation was not an offer of a second chance. It was the confirmation that God's plan had been fulfilled. And then he extended his hand and freed those who belonged to the Father. The realm of the dead no longer had dominion over the righteous. The captivity that held them there was undone. The door opened and light broke the darkness. There was something more that needed to be done. Death, for ages, had maintained its authority over men. The fear of eternal separation plagued even the most faithful. But in that moment, everything was changing. Christ, with his consummated victory, took possession of what had previously belonged to the enemy. He snatched from death's hands the right to imprison those who were in God. The dominion that once seemed unbreakable was now under his authority. The one who lives declared that he now held the keys. There was no longer any reason for the righteous to fear death, for it no longer had the final word. Eternal separation was no longer the inevitable fate. Now there was an open path, direct access to the presence of God. What does this victory mean for us? From the beginning, humanity's greatest enemy was sin. It brought condemnation, corruption, and the inevitability of death. Man lived with the burden of guilt, always distant from God's holiness. But the coming of Christ changed that reality. With his descent into the realm of the dead, he not only proclaimed his victory, but also opened the way for all who would come after. Death was no longer an abyss without return. Separation was no longer definitive. Hope was now real. Those who trust in him need not fear what comes after life. Eternity is assured for those who belong to him. Salvation has already been won. There are no more barriers between God and men. While all this was happening in the spiritual world, in the physical world, the tomb remained sealed. Guards were positioned at the entrance, ensuring that no one would steal Jesus' body. But not even the stone, not even the soldiers, not even the power of Rome could prevent what was about to happen. On the third day, the earth shook. The tomb couldn't hold him. The stone was moved, not for him to exit, for nothing could prevent him, but so the world could see that he was no longer there. Death was defeated, hell was overcome, and the resurrection confirmed that he was indeed the Son of God. The disciples, who were once filled with fear, now found hope. The one they had seen die was now alive. What seemed like the end was, in fact, a new beginning. But this story doesn't end in the past. It resonates to this day. Christ's victory over death was not only a historical event, but a reality that impacts every life that believes. He opened a path, but it is up to each one to decide whether to follow it or not. Many still live in fear of death, uncertain about what will come after. But the truth has already been revealed. Eternity with God is available to those who trust in Christ. This is not a decision that can be postponed. There is no second chance after the last breath. The choice must be made now. Hell could not stop him. Death had no power over him. His triumph was not only his own, but for all who choose to follow him. The question that remains is, what will your choice be? If this truth touched your heart, share this message with those who need to hear it. The victory has already been won. The King is alive, and his promise is eternal.